Hey guys, I know you've all seen Mylar bags and you know what they are, you know what they do. Let's take some of the mystery out of it and I'm going to show you how to package these things like a pro. Stick with me, you'll get all the tips and tricks that I use to get bags looking like this, sucked down nice and tight, and I'm going to show you all the different stuff. All right guys, Mylar bags, they're a prepper staple for long-term food storage. I don't need to tell you, you should be storing food long-term, all your staples. I'm gonna show you how to do this. These are your Mylar bags. We're gonna go over everything that you can do, how to seal these things and how to get a good seal and have your Mylar bags coming out like this. Mylar bags are the staple of long-term food storage with preparedness and homesteading people in mind. I'm going to go over, this is a 2-quart bag. I use it most of the time for my freeze-dried foods that we put in. The freeze dryer only takes a certain amount, so these are a 2-quart that I like to use for our freeze-dried meats. We've also got a 5-gallon size. This will fit in a 5-gallon bucket, and it's still got room. You can seal everything. These have got a Ziploc seal, just like a Ziploc bag. I like these because you can take them, put all your product in there, drop your oxygen absorber, and then use the zip top seal to go ahead and seal everything up before you heat seal everything. But they come everything from a 1 quart, this is a 2 quart, from a 1 quart to a 5-gallon. They actually make some 30-gallon and 55-gallon bags. I don't have any of those. I've thought about getting some before, but just never did. I just don't want 55 gallons of wheat in one bag. The Mylar bags are air, water, and light resistant. That's why it's great for long-term food storage. And when used in conjunction with your oxygen absorbers, they're great in the tried and true way to store your long-term food. All right, guys, in the next section, what we're gonna do, go over the things that you need for storing your food in Mylar bags. First, of course, you're gonna need Mylar bags, depending on what you're gonna store, of what size that you want. Second thing, you're gonna need oxygen absorbers. We'll get into what sizes for each bags here in just a little bit. Stay with me. You're gonna need some way to seal these bags. This is a Harvest Right impulse sealer. I use it most of the time on my smaller bags. It will not fit a 5-gallon size bag. I typically use it on my 2-quart bags and smaller. Also, you're gonna need, one thing you can use a lot of times that I use for my 5-gallon bags is a hair straightener, works nice, or you can use an iron and a 2x4 to do that. I'm not gonna show you how to do that. We're just gonna do the impulse sealer today. And also you need the food that you're gonna store, and you need a nice, clean, dry work environment because you don't want your food getting dirty and contaminated before you put it in the bag, and you want it to stay as dry as you can because you want to seal up nice, dry food and not anything with any moisture in it. All right, guys, let's talk about the food that you want to store in Mylar bags. Typically, you want dry, low-fat foods. They're going to be the best for your long-term storage. We're talking about stuff like rice, beans, flour, pasta, powdered milk, wheat, whole wheat berries, not the whole wheat berries will keep super long time. Dehydrated fruits and vegetables, potato flakes. A lot of times we've done frozen hash browns before. Just thaw those out, dehydrate them, and we stored those in Mylar, and they do great. Also, any of your freeze-dried foods that you do, we freeze dry cheese, we freeze dry a lot of meat, we do a lot of eggs, and all of that stuff will freeze dry. Like right here also, this is chili. I did this February of 2023. It was chili. We had a leftover batch of chili, so I ran it in the freeze dryer. That stuff is fine, long-term, shelf stable. But you want your food to be dry and low fat. Next, we're going to get in and start talking about oxygen absorbers. One of the other big components in storing your food for long-term storage is oxygen absorbers. This is what goes in conjunction with your Mylar bags. And what the oxygen absorbers does is it absorbs the oxygen in a container. So that's what makes these bags brick down and suck down like that. they will absorb the extra oxygen that's in that bag. They come in all kinds of different sizes. This is typically how they come packaged, in a vacuum seal bag. And you can see these are a 300 cc oxygen absorber. And this is a oxygen indicator. So if that is turned, you know that these have gone bad and there's been oxygen in there. One thing I do, as soon as you cut these open, they start working and they start heating up. So typically, if I'm not gonna use, there's, I think, 20 in each bag the way I order them. So if I'm not gonna use all 20, what I do is take the smallest mason jar that they'll fit in, use my oxygen absorbers that I need in the bags, and then stick the other ones in here and screw the cap back on. That keeps the things fresh still. And we'll go over, and one thing that I do, I use the slow acting oxygen absorbers. They make the regular oxygen absorbers, and they also make a slow acting oxygen absorber. And I talked to the guys at Discount Mylar Bags, and I did not know this until he told me. The regular acting oxygen absorbers, they produce some heat. I knew they produced some heat, but what that will do is actually cause some condensation in your bag. And with freeze-dried food, your moisture is always an enemy of that, and it will actually make food go bad if you use the regular oxygen absorbers. So now everything I buy are the slow acting. They take 2 or 3 times as long to act, so this will not brick down by the next day. Usually it takes a couple days for it to brick down hard all the way, but they don't create any heat, then they don't create any moisture inside your bag and ruin your food. Typically, the chart that I always use for my bags and what size oxygen absorber to use, a 1 quart bag, typically 1,000 or 100 cc size oxygen absorber is fine. 1 gallon bags is 1 to 2 300 cc oxygen absorbers. A 2 gallon bag is 2 500 cc or 1 1000 cc. 5 gallon bags is 1 to 2 2000 cc or 2 to 3 1000 cc. That's your typical chart that most everybody goes with. If you're doing something that has a lot of airspace, like an elbow macaroni, you would want to go on the higher side oxygen absorber, because there's just more air in there and you can't really pack that material down. Just like rice will pack real good and tight with not a lot of air voids in it, so you can stay on the lower end of your oxygen absorbers. But honestly, oxygen absorbers and Mylar bags are relatively still inexpensive. Why spend all the money on doing all this, all the money and the time doing this for your food storage, and then skimp on an oxygen absorber? Throw an extra oxygen absorber in there just to make sure everything's fine. And also on your oxygen absorbers, you don't want to cut your bag open until you're ready to actually put the oxygen absorbers in the bags. So what I do is pre-fill all my bags with the food or whatever I'm gonna put in there, have all my bags ready, fill everything up, and then I open my oxygen absorbers, drop the oxygen absorbers in, and I'll show you here in just a minute, but drop the oxygen absorbers in, and then like with the bags I use, they've got the Ziploc top. I Ziploc everything in, and then if I've got oxygen absorbers left, like I said, I throw them in a mason jar, the smallest mason jar that they'll fit in, screw the cap on, and you're good to go until next time. All right, you can see I got my Mylar bag open. You can see that this is a zip top, just like a zip top bag, but you still got room at the top above the Ziploc to go ahead and seal everything. One thing that's nice, these are a gusseted bag, so they will stand up on their own, and you don't have, it lets you free up one hand. On this video, we're gonna put rice in the bags. So I got my bag open. Do not have my oxygen absorbers open yet. So we're gonna fill the bag up. Looks like this is probably going to take 3 bags. These are 1 pound bags a piece. And like I said, this is a 2-quart bag. Which we're about to right here on the bag, which that's plenty. If I did another pound, it's going to fill it too far. But like I said, if I'm doing multiple bags, I will get all my bags ready, stood up and open like this. And then once I get all my bags ready, then I'm going to pack my, open my oxygen absorbers. We're just doing this 1 bag. I'm going to take 1 oxygen absorber out of here. Grab your oxygen absorber, slide it in the bag, and then just like a zip top, just like a Ziploc bag, we've got that sealed. And if you had multiple bags, you just go on down the line, and put your oxygen absorbers in there. Then when you're done, take your mason jar, seal the lid back up, and now it's time to seal our bags. Okay, we got 3 pounds of rice in our 2-quart bag. Got our oxygen absorber in, we got our zip top seal going. Now it's time to seal the bag. What will happen when you're sealing the bag, you're melting both edges of that together. I usually double seal my bags just to make sure they're sealed good. You can do this with an impulse sealer like the one I've got from Harvest Right, or you can use a hair straightener. The hair straightener is awesome. Just make sure your wife does not know you use it, because she will get mad if you burn her hair straightener on the bag. Ask me how I know. With the hair straightener, it clamps down. You can clamp it on there and just run it across, and you can watch and see how that Mylar just melts together and forms a perfect seal. Another thing you can do is put the edge of it on a 2x4 and use a regular clothes iron and run a clothes iron on that. But today, I don't want to get the hair straightener out, so we're going to use the impulse sealer. I've got this is a 7 mil Mylar bag, so I've got it turned up. I've got it turned up on about a 5, and it's awesome, this sealer. You slide the bag in, and you push it down, and then it clicks when it's done. So I've got 1 seal on it now. We're going to put a 2nd seal on it. And we'll do and if you can see, it's sealed nice together. We've got a double seal on it. The next step is going to be labeling it. We'll be right back. All right, last and 2 of the most important things with your long-term food storage when you're storing it in Mylar. First, label everything that you do. If I didn't label this, I have little to no knowledge of what was in here. I put what it is, white rice, and then the date. So February 2024. We've got this. We know exactly what it is. Even when it breaks down, you can see what it is. And I would label these just as soon as you get done. Putting your oxygen absorber and sealing it. Because if you try to write on it after it's bricked down, it's going to be a pain in the butt. Because you can see this chili we did right at a year ago. That would be a pain in the butt to write on that rough surface. But go ahead and label everything. That takes all the guesswork out of it, because you don't want to be guessing what you've got in these bags. Another thing to do is your storage. You want to keep these, the Mylar is resistant to air, water, and light, but don't risk it. You want to keep this in a cool, dark, dry place. I keep most of my stuff in the basement because it stays dark down here. It stays nice and cool and dry, is where the bulk of our food storage is at. But the idea thing is keep it below 70 degrees, but above 40 degrees. You really don't want it freezing too much. I mean, if it freezes, it's not going to particularly hurt it, but it's not going to be real good for it. So if you keep it in that 70 to 40 degree window, you're going to be great. All right, guys, that's it. I appreciate you watching.